If the RSI is overbought, should you sell? This belief has likely caused significant amounts of loss for maybe you, but certainly many other people out there as well. I've seen many technical analysis using MACDs, using stochastic RSIs, using whatever to effectively just wait for a cross and then enter into a longer or short position depending upon which direction it crossed. That will not work. Obviously, that will not work. If that worked, everyone would do the same thing. We'd all be millionaires, just like moving averages. It is, of course, context dependent. The RSI is actually very, very, very valuable. It provides a lot of valuable information, but as a confirmation tool, as a secondary confirmation tool, as a momentum oscillator. That is why I really want to go deep into this video as to a lot of the misconceptions with the RSI, as well as the proper ways to use it. And honestly, to answer that initial question, in a strong trend, overbought RSI is a feature, not a warning. You actually expect overbought RSIs. It is indicative of a very strong trend that is likely to continue in many cases as well. There is, however, a very specific signal that is indicative of a trend weakening, and thus it is time to be looking for a pullback or a reversal. Anyways, before we go deeper into this, I should let you know that if you're just finding this video out of context, it is a part of a greater TA 101 playlist, of which you can find the full TA 101 playlist here in the link in the description below for Teachable, which is right here. That'll bring you to this page, and you can literally enroll for free. For the price of $0.00, you get the full course, which is actually only available on Teachable. I'm only uploading about half of it here on YouTube. On Teachable, you get everything plus quizzes to validate that you actually learn the material. And if you do finish it, if you finish the whole thing, then you will get a certificate of completion, as well as a few of the bonuses, which I'll keep a bit of a secret for right now. Anyways, cool. Let's go back into it right here, and let's explain why overbought doesn't mean sell. The RSI, like we went over earlier, is a momentum confirmation tool, not buy or sell signals. If you look at it like that, you will get absolutely fucking wrecked. It is really that simple. And I'm sure that you've seen many people get wrecked doing exactly that. So in this video, I'll show you how the RSI actually works and why most people misuse it and how to actually employ it in the proper context. That is the purpose here. Oh, and by the way, before we continue as well, I do want to give a major shout out to the sponsor of this playlist, Blofin. The link is in the description below. They are the best no KYC exchange that is crypto native. So if you want to trade cryptos and you don't want to do KYC because maybe whatever reasons, well, it's available to you in links in the description below. That is up to you, of course, but this link specifically will get you a 15% cash back on all of your trades, which is effectively a 15% discount, which is humongous. So that's why I partnered with them, because they offer some of the best fee rates, honestly. And of course, with most people wanting some place to trade futures, they are among the best exchanges. And if you're looking for no KYC exchanges, they are the best that I'm aware of as of this moment. All right, cool. Let's get into the presentation itself and go over what the RSI actually is. And I think when you understand what the RSI actually is, you'll start to understand why blindly following its signals is a recipe for disaster. Anyways, the RSI measures momentum. It measures momentum, giving you the speed of price movement, or the strength of the movement, but not the direction. I mean, you can kind of deduce what direction is likely happening, but it's not, that is not its goal. It's telling you about the strength of that movement. It's quite literally the name of the indicator, relative strength index. Anyways, RSI doesn't measure direction. It measures strength or momentum, and trend decides direction. RSI tells you how hard price is pushing. And these two sentences alone should be greatly insightful into how we're going to employ this. Trend decides direction. RSI tells you how hard price is pushing. So maybe if we have an example where the trend is in an upside direction, but the RSI is telling you that it's not really pushing that hard right now, that could be indicative of perhaps a trend weakening. Maybe we should be looking for a pullback. Maybe we should be anticipating a reversal. We'll get into what that looks like a little bit later. All right, but first let's go over, of course, some common RSI misconceptions. So RSI as a direct buy-sell signal, obviously not gonna fucking work. I mean, it only shows momentum context. And by the way, you can apply this to almost every other momentum oscillator. They all need some context with trend, especially, and in many cases volatility as well. Of course, one major feature of an uptrend is that strong uptrends, I should say, will stay overbought, and weak uptrends usually start to see that RSI move down and down. And of course, in a downtrend, your downtrend staying oversold, the exact same thing. Your oversold is indicative of a strong downtrend. It's the context that makes this thing works. If overbought meant sell, strong trends wouldn't exist, or at least your RSI would look at them significantly differently, I should say. RSI behaves differently depending on market conditions. That is important. We need to effectively understand the market regime. What sort of regime are we in? What is the trend? What is the dominant trend? These things matter for sure. So let's go into some, of course, examples, which I will go back here. All right, got my RSI right here, and let's go over an uptrend. So obviously in this uptrend here, we see many times where the RSI is overbought. And by the way, if you're not familiar with the RSI, overbought is anything over 70, which I'm going to put in a red line right here on the RSI. And let's just mark off all the, instances where this is happening. Boom, 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 boom. So now let's go into the chart. Where was this? This was during this move right here. Was that a good time to sell? Well, it's a great time to sell if you just don't like making more money on the trend. Great idea. This one continues on. Really continues on all the way up here before its first real correction. And then from there, this first initial move immediately is overbought on the breakout. By the way, that's a key. A breakout to the upside in an uptrend, you're almost always going to see overbought RSI or very close to 70. And sorry, I don't even like using the term overbought or oversold because it doesn't exist. It's just strong momentum. Strong momentum is what it really is. Of course, you're going to see a strong momentum in an upside breakout. Duh. And this one stays overbought all the way until you're about here. So you would have missed this whole move if you just immediately sold when it was overbought. And then again, what do you know? When price action breaks out of a nearly 7-month long consolidation right here, it's overbought immediately and doesn't top until way over here. You would have missed this whole move. Or worse, you would have shorted right here and not just missed that move, but gotten absolutely run the fuck over during that move as well. Not good. Not good at all. Now, here's another thing. The zones of the RSI matter a lot too. So when you're in an uptrend, you generally oscillate or you generally stay above a 40 read on the RSI. And when you're in a downtrend, you generally stay below the 60 read on the RSI. So you could come up with zones here. In your uptrends, you basically want to see the lows of the RSI come in around this area right here. In an uptrend, in a downtrend, you want to see generally the highs of your RSI. And by the way, it doesn't need to be perfect, but just somewhere around there, around this red line right here at 60. So that is kind of how you should be looking at it. And stuff in between there, RSI reads in between there, as you can see on the chart, that generally correlates with sideways range, trendless times, which again is actually very useful information. It's telling you not to do trend trading strategies at that time. If you want to trade at all, do a range trading strategy, do a scalping strategy. Don't trade the trend because you've got no trend. Duh. It's a confirmation, not a trigger, is the point that I'm really working towards. Anyways, let's go back into our slideshow right here, and let's go over some regimes, or let's go over some proper RSI use, then we'll go over the regimes, which we kind of already did. But first, we want to analyze the trend. Are you in an uptrend or a downtrend? That pertains to video number 1 and also the previous video with moving averages if you want another easy way to kind of confirm that. Then we use the RSI to confirm momentum, and we look for overbought or oversold in the context of the trend. If the trend is up and you're resolving a range and it's overbought, that is your confirmation it's breaking out. And when the trend is down, or if it's in a range and then breaking to the downside and moving below your most support or your most recent support zone, and the RSI is turning oversold, that's a damn good indication you're entering into a real reversal and you should be expecting more down. Anyways, let's go over some regimes. So this is kind of putting it into terms that I was alluding to earlier, but let's just put it into writing here. And the RSI behaves differently in different markets. Duh. In an uptrend, your RSI generally will hold between 40 and 80. That sort of area right there is where you kind of expect your RSI to hang out around in your extreme uptrends. So your lows should be coming in somewhere around 40 to 50 on your higher lows, and your highs should be coming in, somewhere around like 70 to 80-ish region, maybe even higher in some cases. In a downtrend, you just kind of flip that. Downtrends typically hold between 20 and 60. And when you deviate a lot from that, something else is typically going on. If you deviate a lot more to the downside, meaning that you get an RSI read of 10, that's starting to look more and more like a move is getting a bit exaggerated, and you're probably going to experience a bit of a snapback. And likewise, when you get back above 60 and start to hold above there, something else is emergent too. And of course, you're ranging, generally speaking, if you're also in between, I put it as 30 and 70 here. That is your textbook definition. I would argue it's actually more accurately, like we said before, between 40 and 60. It's kind of where you expect it, But if you want to go by, dictionary definition, it would be 30 to 70. My personal experience and opinion would be more like 40 to 60. Anyways, the RSI adapts to the market. Most traders don't. And so it can really keep you honest if you actually pay attention to it in the proper context. But that's the issue. Most people don't look at it in the proper context. Anyways, let's go back to the chart here. And we kind of did a similar example to this, but I think it'll make even more sense once you have read through that previous slide. So this zone right here where the RSI really is hanging out between 40 and 60 correlates to this whole consolidation right here. And what do you know? Price was more or less going sideways. Yes, there was a few dips above, few dips below, but it didn't really stay much above there, much below there. And again, if you do employ the previous slides or the previous videos in this, then you would have marked off your range as something like this. And you would have looked at that and said, hey, we don't have any confirmations of breakout or breakdown. So sideways is the name of the game there. Same thing if we go over here. Over here during these movements, we see a lot of price action accumulating between the 40 and 60 reads. And ultimately, that tells you right now is not the time to be trading a trends trading strategy. It's time to be trading if you want to be trading anything at all, a range trading strategy, scalping the peripheries of that range, basically. Anyways, moving on from there, I just want to hammer in the point that using RSI the same way in every market is why most people stay stuck. You can't do that. It just doesn't work. You might get bailed out when it's just a parabolic bull market and it's been going up and up for years, but it's gonna switch around at some point. And here's another thing, and just like a very, very quick tip. Again, we go into this in much more detail in the Krown Trading Bible, but just a quick tip here. In general, the market can, I'm not saying will, but can stay overbought a lot longer than it generally stays oversold. So when you see very, very depreciated RSI values, especially like in the teens or single digits, which very rarely happens, things typically do not stay down there for that long, like you see right here, actually, on this particular example, just a quick 1 bar move into there and a quick reversal as well. Whereas on the upside, the RSI stays overbought during this move for, many weeks, actually. This is a daily time frame, so very long. Anyways, well, let's go back to our slideshow right here, and let's go over some divergences. So I want to give you a quick insight into the primary value of an RSI or of most momentum oscillators. Again, this is done very much at length in the Krown Trading Bible with examples, with trading strategies, and it is effectively looking for divergences. You have 4 different types of divergences. There is bullish and 2 different, there's 4 different overall types. There's 2 different categories. The 2 different categories are bullish divergence and bearish divergence. Of the bullish variety, you have bullish regular divergence and what's called hidden bullish divergence, which I think should be called hidden or continuation divergence, basically continuation of trend. Now, regular bullish divergence happens when your downtrend is weakening. How do you know that? Because your trend is making new lows on price, but your RSI is making higher lows. So what is that telling you in essence? The trend is going further down, price is going further down, but the momentum of that trend is waning to the downside. Thus, what would happen? What is most likely to happen? It becomes a higher probability situation to be looking for a bounce. And of course, hidden bullish divergence happens in uptrends, and it is effectively a continuation higher low in which the uptrend finds a higher low compared to a previous low, but the RSI is making a lower low compared to the previous low. And the way that this is interpreted is that bears tried to use more strength to the downside, but were not able to push price down further past that previous low. Thus, the uptrend is strengthening, and we just found a new higher low, and you should be expecting another move to the upside. Bearish divergence, both regular and hidden, same thing, but opposite. So downtrend, new lows, with higher lows on RSI equals trend weakening. Thus, we look for a bounce. And of course, hidden bearish divergence is in the context of a downtrend. Your lower high compared to another lower high is producing a higher high on the RSI compared to the previous lower high. Thus, bulls tried harder. They used more force to push price up, but they were unable to get it past that previous lower high. Thus, the trend is strengthening to the downside, and we just got a next lower high, and I'd be expecting a continuation of downside move. All right. Okay. So let's actually, before I go over what's next, let's stay here for a moment. So I do want to explain just kind of like a general top-down analysis of how to use the RSI. 1, identify the trend first. Are you in an uptrend or a downtrend? 2, use the RSI for confirmation. If you're in an uptrend and you're breaking out of a range or continuing, and you're seeing the RSI move above 70, you just confirm the next leg to the upside, most likely. You want to avoid signals in isolation, meaning that we do not look at only the RSI. We must look at other tools in conjunction with it. And then we can combine it with structure, which is effectively your range highs, your range lows, the previous video or 2 videos before this one. And these things all together can support decisions mediated by the RSI, but the RSI alone does not make them. That is the key point here. Anyways, what's next? So what's coming next in this playlist is we are going to be going over, okay, actually, we're not going over RSI. We just did that right here, but we're going to go over volatility next. And again, if you want the full playlist right now, go into the link in the description below. It is 100% free. Just click this guy right here. It'll bring you to this page, and you can roll for the price of $0.00. Anyways, I'll see you there. Take care. And next video is volatility.